A very good afternoon and welcome to another exciting installment of Trendz. We are coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios in Johannesburg. I go by the name of Selepa Maifadi and we'll be giving you a wrap of the latest art and entertainment news in and around the continent.
And I'm Nadia Adams and I'll be bringing you some highlights from the showbiz world this past week. Remember, you can interact with us on @Trendz on SABC.
Jabu Tlongwane's live recording of Moyaga Jehovah from his latest offering Cross Power Experience 3 set the tone for today's episode with that amazing rendition of it. With the Christian calendar being on Lent, we thought it will only be right to continue to highlight some of the great gospel content that Mzansi has to offer. We started with Kayam Teta last week, so head out to the SABC digital channel on YouTube to see that uplifting interview and performances by him. Today we have, of course, Jabu Tlongwane and Levuso Kobela with us in studio. Nadia Adams and myself are still at it, hitting the gym and eating super clean. We've been on a 10-day Eliminate Detox program since the beginning of the year and have just completed the second phase where we reintroduced the 8 eliminated food groups one at a time and of course monitoring it along the way. But don't stress if you're not in the loop. Check out this next insert to see what we've been up to.
It's been a couple of weeks since I last saw you both, and you're looking really good, just by the way. Your eyes are shining, and your skin is glowing, and you're definitely looking like you're radiating. So clearly the Eliminate process has worked well for you both. But I know that you went first and foremost on the 10-day cleanse, the Eliminate, and then you had to do the reintroductory phase, which is where you introduce all 8 of the different products back into your life 3 days at a time. So talk to me a little bit about that process and the highs and the lows and what you couldn't wait to eat and what foods actually didn't work for you and you realized, hang on, I think I might have a bit of an intolerance to this food, and what that was like for you.
The reintroduction, it was a lot more difficult having to introduce and take it out, and especially with the sugar, because you'd gotten over that slump in the 10 days and then bringing the sugar back in, and then it was like starting from scratch. That's how I felt.
What has been the biggest lessons? You know, you've done this now, it's been a month. You did your 10 days eliminate, you've reintroduced three days at a time, different foods. And so what have you got out of it? What has been your big sort of lesson from doing this whole process?
I think for me it had to be discipline, you know, like to tell your mind that you're not gonna do this and you're gonna stick to it. That's been something that I have had to challenge myself to, and it made me realize that I can do this if I just tell myself that this is not what I'm gonna do, because I've been very disciplined. I mean, even the veggie juices, I drink beetroot every single morning.
Wow.
Yes, I do.
And I wish all women would actually just throw out the scale, because it doesn't give us a good indication as to how your body composition has changed. I'm way more interested in how you feel, how you look, your measurements, and what your body composition is saying to me.
It's our first weigh-in since we started the program, and we're already seeing results. Katlego dropped a whopping 6 kilos, and myself, well, I've dropped 2, but we're super proud. If I had any doubts about Rally's unorthodox methods, they've completely been resolved. Now that we've weighed in, it's time to hit the kitchen for some nutritional insight and details on the cleanse.
So ladies, we wanted to educate the viewers a little bit more, because they're probably wondering what is the Eliminate. So it is a 10-day cleanse, a little longer than 10 days, but the full cleanse is 10 days, and then we reintroduce certain items after that, whereby we take 8 products or ingredients out of our diets for 10 days. And to give you an indication of what these different 8 things are, the first thing we eliminate is any kinds of sugar. So this is where it was really hard for you, hey Kath? All sugars, so your fizzy drinks, your chocolate milks, your sweeties, all went out your diet. Then any type of salt, so that goes for soya sauces, ready-made sauces, your table salt, your normal white salt that we're all very used to. Then wheat products, so that would go for, you know, biscuits, rolls, bread, pastas, bagels, all of that out your diet. Anything that was processed, so anything that comes not from a tree but from a factory. So if it came out of a tin, if it came out of a packet, if it came out of a box, it has been processed, okay, 99% of the time. So, you know, your cream crackers, chips, anything that's processed out. Dairy products, which is quite hard for a lot of people, so your cheeses, ice creams, yogurts, milks, out. Meat products, so that's eggs, fish, chicken, red meat, lamb, gone. And then caffeine, so that's not only your teas and coffees, not your herbal teas, your regular teas and coffees, also dark chocolate, and chocolate actually has a lot of caffeine in it. And then red wine and any other alcohol. This is actually the healthiest of all the alcohols right here. And we have to eliminate everything for 10 days. And then after the 10 days, we put one food back in the body for 3 days to see how your body reacted, to see if you were sensitive to it, if you were intolerant to it, if you got a headache, if you got tummy cramps, if it kept you up at night, if you just didn't feel great, you felt like lethargic because of the certain food group, so that you can determine what works for your body and what doesn't. Because a lot of people live their lives not feeling how feeling good feels. So if you are wanting to follow the Eliminate plan and get the recipes and the step-by-step guide, then go to lisarally.com, and under my store you'll see that I've got the entire plan and the kit that goes with it, and you can follow Kat and Nadia on their mission to lose weight and feel great in 2018.
Kids are loving our local celebrities. This past week, Nickelodeon announced the nominees for the Kids' Choice Awards, where kids' votes actually count and celebs get slimed. Take a look. Black Coffee was among the nominees, taking the nod in the favorite global music star category, while Casper Nyovest and Caster Semenya were also recognized with nominations. WWE superstar John Cena will return to host the Nickelodeon 2018 Kids' Choice Awards on Saturday, 24th March, which will premiere on Nickelodeon. Casper Nyovest is reaching new highs. The rapper has been tasked by Coca-Cola to collaborate with US artist Jason Derulo on the 2018 FIFA World Cup anthem for South Africa. Nyovest was selected as Coca-Cola looks to widen collaborations across the globe, inviting local artists from the African continent to collaborate with Derulo to create uniquely African anthems for each of their countries. The South African anthem was revealed this week at a listening session with Casper Nyovest and Lerato Ganyago, who are fresh off the jet from LA where the song was recorded.
Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio are set to star in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Sony Pictures said this week that the film has been dated for theatrical release on 9th August 2019.
The project has become widely known as Tarantino's Charles Manson film. Neither DiCaprio nor Pitt will be playing Manson, however. Tarantino says they will play a pair of struggling actors. DiCaprio will appear as former Western TV series star and Pitt as his stunt double. A longtime resident of Los Angeles, Tarantino has been working on the script for 5 years. It will mark his 9th feature.
Beyond the River, a true and riveting adventure film captured the hearts of many this past year. And now the film is being recognized, with 4 SAFTA nods under its belt, including the top spot.
Inspired by the true story of Sisiko Ntindini and Piers Cruikshanks, who together won gold in the 2014 Dusu Canoe Marathon. Beyond the River delivers a nail-biting adventure story about the triumph of human spirit. The film has been nominated for Best Cinematography, Best Editing, Best Actor, and the top prize, Best Feature Film. The SAFTAs will take place on March 22nd.
Well, it's about that time for an ad break, but stay tuned and we'll be back in a bit.
Welcome back. The rise of a new era of South African gospel music came in 1994 when a legend decided to drop his first solo album. And it went on to produce a multi-award-winning gospel artist and author who is now with us in studio. Yes, we are joined by Jabu Hlongwane, of course. And since then, he has dropped and recorded over 20 albums. And that era of when he produced his first album inspired artists such as Leboso Kgobela, and also for her to use her voice to spread the word of the Lord. Thank you so much for joining us in studio today.
Thank you.
So we are in Lent, right? And we know that that's a time when a lot of gospel musicians are touring and going all over the place. Let's start with that. Where can we see you? Where can we see your performances in the season?
Wow. Okay. With me, at this moment, I'm touring. I've been doing the Lion of Judah National Tour, but this year I am now in May. I'm doing my live DVD recording, so I feel like I'm ready now to release a new album. So I'm just excited about it, and also going out there to say thank you, to people who are now part of our family, no longer fans, but they're family because they've been supporting us. Their kids, their families. When they do grocery, they think of us. Let us buy their tickets. To go to their shows. Let's buy the CDs, to support them. So for me, they come first. They are just part of my family, and now it's a bigger family, Yeah.
It's amazing. And for you?
Yeah, I just launched the album on Wednesday.
This week?
Yeah. Crossfire Experience Volume 3. It's out in the stores, on iTunes and everywhere, and the DVD is out. But I'm preparing for Joy Celebration. 22, we're launching during Easter. So we are up and down trying to do that.
So you've co-produced over 20 albums. You've dropped 10 studio albums already. I mean, where do you find the time to do all of that and still decide which songs you're going to keep for you and maybe which ones you can give maybe to Joyous?
No, I write songs all the time. When I do a project, I go into the studio and check in the folders which songs I'm going to include in that particular album. But when we record for Joyous, when we started, it was myself and Mthunzi Namba who wrote the songs, the two of us only. But as we grew as Joy Celebration, we taught these young kids that come on board to write songs, arrange songs. So it's not much of a stress. We just let them go with that. We come back and we tweak. We push this, we remove that, put that. So they write their own songs. We throw in 1 or 2 if we feel like we need to, especially for those that are coming through. But 24 hours is a long time, I normally say if you can allocate what you were doing per hour, in each day, you'll find that half the day you don't know what you were doing. So if you allocate in each and every hour, you achieve quite a bit.
Well, you definitely achieved a lot because last year in December, you dropped a book, you released a book, and with this album and live DVD. I mean, what is the book about? Give us a bit more insight on that.
The book is finding meaning. It's the biggest problem we have as people is trying to find meaning. As an artist, for instance, when you get into the industry and you try to do what you do, you don't get a response. You feel like you're not an artist. You feel like you're not called to do this. You want to try something else. Sometimes you try to do gospel, it doesn't work. You go do Afro whatever, it doesn't work. You think you're not worth it and stuff. We on a quest to find meaning all the time. The book is about that. It outlines and narrates how God has put things and how things work. For instance, very quickly, a seed of a peach is small, shriveled up and ugly. But in the seed there are fruits, there's a stem, there's roots, there's branches, there's leaves in that ugly little thing. So the seed does not look at itself from the outside. It knows itself from the inside. That is why the seed does not feel bad because it looks ugly or shriveled up or whatever. So the problem with us, we look at our circumstance. We look around, you say, we are poor, we don't have this, we don't have that, I don't have many shoes, I don't have this. Then you look at that and you say, I'm not worthy. But the book talks about what is on the inside, because what you are, God has already given you when you are born. You don't go out to get it or become that. So when you grow up, it's the peeling off of things to reveal who you really are. So it's in the inside. A lot of people are chasing things on the outside, whether it's money, status, and stuff. It doesn't work. The fulfillment comes from the inside. So the book explained how that works.
That sounds like a book I should definitely be getting. Lebo, how did you know that you have found your meaning in God's work from when you were a personal assistant? How did you know that, okay, from here onwards, I'm going to take it into gospel music?
I think it was not an easy thing to do. Firstly, I needed to find myself in Christ. You know, am I rooted enough, you know, to stand before, you know, the children of God, even people who are sometimes thinking that they are not, even though they are, because of circumstances or things that we've done in life. And I've went to auditions. I remember, you know, sitting here when Tata Jabu, that I went when he was doing they're doing a CD with Tata Vuyomkwen. And I remember I was there, you know, singing with them. Yes. Lazy. You know, so I went there for auditions, you know, and I remember, you know, when they told me, like, no, you sang, but no, you did not give us, you know, you did not give us what we needed. And that did not put me down, but that gave me, you know, that effort to say that, God, you know, I know there's so much that you have deposited in me. I think I love what you just said about the seed, you know, to say that, you know, I might look ugly on the outside. I might look like I am not meaningless or I'm meaningful to other people, but there's so much that you have deposited in me. You know, the outside does not say anything, but what is inside, what you have deposited in me, you know, I'm able to take it to the world. I'm able to take it to people, because when you stand on that stage and you sing, you don't do it because of the outside, but you're giving people what you have on your inside. You know, you are delivering what God has deposited in you. So that made me to say, I know that, you know what, with God I can do anything, and I can stand the test of time, because I
must say, after, I mean, you have 3 albums, but a lot of people just know your last album, and for some reason that album is the one that got you into the mainstream, you know. And there's a lot that we don't know about gospel music. What are we going to do? Because now for the 3rd album, yes, you've picked up, everybody knows who Lebo is, but how are we going to make sure that gospel music is seen on the same ranks as how much we celebrate hip-hop and R&B and all other forms of genre in South Africa?
Sure. I think it also depends on how the media accept that, or how, as gospel artists, we portray ourselves. You know, I cannot come in and say, this is a brand, but I don't believe in the same brand, you know, other than other people. You know, when people sing, you know, house or white or any other genre, when they stand there, they believe, and they make you believe in what they're offering you. You know, and with us, what I can do is that I can tell you that Christ loves you, you know, and the only thing that you can do is for yourself to accept and say, I know that he loves me. So it's up to that. I can lay it on the table, but if you don't want to accept it, you know, I also need to make sure that you understand what I was telling you about, but also it also portrays that there's a lot that we need to do, because at the moment gospel music is selling. You know, we are very high on the music chart. You don't see us falling down, you see us you know, just going up and up. You know, God is opening up, you know, a wave, you know, of great musicians who are here, who are doing very well. But I think it also starts within us. What is it that we are bringing to the people, and how do we want them to accept what we bring to them?
Well, that's all we have for today. I wish we could chill here for another hour, but unfortunately we just have 60 minutes on on this show. That was Jabuhlo Ngwane and Lebus Khobela telling us about their coming projects and the influence that they have in the gospel industry in South Africa. She took the crown just 4 months ago, and now she's crafting a new kind of Miss South Africa. 8 van der Heerden launched the very first Miss South Africa book club this week with a firm belief that power lies within the pages. Let's take a look.
Her road to Miss South Africa wasn't the easiest. After being crowned first princess in March last year, by November, Adia van Heerden found herself becoming Miss South Africa, when the reigning queen, Demi-Leigh Nel-Peters, was named Miss Universe, leaving room for Van Heerden to take the crown and shine. But Van Heerden is not just a beauty queen. Behind that beautiful, flawless exterior is an intelligent, strong woman. Her softer side can be seen when caring for her patients.
I'm a qualified medical doctor and lieutenant in the South African National Defence Force. I became Miss South Africa at 4 a.m. in the morning in my pajamas in the bed that I grew up in as a little child. And since then I have enjoyed every single moment of having the opportunity to lead, grow and inspire.
Van Heerden is taking a new direction as Miss South Africa, as she launches the very first book club for the organization. The tone of the evening was one of inspiration, as we all listened while the young doctor shared some of her most personal experiences and failures.
Tonight is the launch of my book club. Books have played an incredible role in my life. They have taught me so much, whether they be inspirational or fantasy. And I feel like I need to pay it forward. I need to teach young women that you have the ability to educate yourself, not only on the internet, but through, a beautiful hard copy of a book. And I also wanted to create a community where women can come together, we can connect, we can speak openly about what is in our hearts, what is troubling us, and we can take hands and we can rise together. It's an open invitation, it does not cost anything, you do not have to have read the book before. My idea is to inspire you to actually read the book and to really just mingle with the girls afterwards, really get to know everybody else on a personal level, because my goal as Miss South Africa is not to be a girl that is up there, that is perfect the entire time. I want to be a tangible woman, a real woman, a woman that wants to come out on a Wednesday evening and connect, have a glass of wine and connect with other women.
The book in point, Rising Star from writer Brene Brown. Van Heerden couldn't put the book down once she started reading.
It's a book about being vulnerable. And society is making a big shift, especially for women, to be very hard, very strong, to hustle, to be boss babes. And yes, we are those things, but I don't want us to lose touch with the emotional side, because being an emotional woman and being soft gives us an immense edge on men. It's where our strength truly lies. It's our ability to connect in ways that male leaders throughout the world have not been able to. And I truly believe it's what the world needs.
The evening left many women feeling touched and inspired, describing the club as a place where women meet, mingle and elevate each other.
I think Adia's direction she's chosen to take is one that a lot of women can relate to. So in terms of being real and being honest with yourself and being honest with your emotions is something that all women can relate to. So she's not going on about something that no one can find comfort in.
For me, it was a very proud moment to see a Miss South Africa lady doing something such as having a book club, because as she said, it had become sort of about going to events, dressing up, smiling and saying hi to everyone, but to actually do something that she can even still continue after her reign, and something that actually raises conscious women in South Africa is an amazing and a beautiful thing, and I really give her props for that.
It was very empowering to be here as a young woman. We grow up watching Miss South Africa, wishing that we could get this personal interaction with them, and to be this close, and for her to tell us so much about herself and to bring things into reality, because like the girls were saying, we live in such a world where it's all about social media and certain presence and a certain appearance. So being here tonight has just been really real, which sounds weird, but it's just been a touch of home, and it's what we needed as young women to hear today, and to just celebrate each other and actually enjoy each other's company without worrying about photographing it, but just living in the moment.
Well, that was absolutely amazing. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Well, if you don't already know, I mean, that is Levos Kgobela with her very popular song, Lion of Judah. She'll be performing for us again later on in the show. But any time is with us, and if we take control to shape our attitude and reshape our memories, that time is always now. Our time for the best possible uses of our lives. Those are the words of the late political poet, Professor Korapetse Bra Willie Khositsile. The time is today. As a celebration of reclamation of Black history, the Department of Arts and Culture has sponsored the Living Legends Legacy Program sessions that explores the personal, social, and ideological and leadership dimensions of Professor Khositsile as a writer and transformation leader through poetry, jazz, and visual arts. This and more is taking place today at Funda Community College in Soweto. We're now joined by the curator and marketing manager of this event. Welcome to Trendz.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. So tell us a bit about the Living Legends Legacy Program. What is it about?
Okay. Living Legends program, it's about celebrating the living legends that in South Africa, there's about 88 of them that the Department of Arts and Culture has enlisted. So we've partnered with them from 2015 in this program. So we've had a number of living legends that have visited us, where it's an intergenerational exchange of ideas and the future and how the youth sees their future in the arts industry and how the legends can pass on the baton to them and the different experiences that they have had.
So you have already had a session for the Khositsile. So Why are you doing it again?
Okay, we had the session earlier last year with him, and then in November we had agreed on a 3 series with the Department of Arts and Culture, starting with the month of February, celebrating the Black History Month, and then moving to the month of March, where we are celebrating the human rights, but focusing on women in arts, and in the month of April, we'll be celebrating the International Jazz Day. The focus was going to be on Brahu. Unfortunately, the 2 of them departed during the course of the year. But we decided to continue with the program, whereby we'll be inviting 4 speakers that will be focusing on the topic that Professor Khositsile had already agreed on, which was visual culture and internet and the preservation of our memory.
Tell us a bit about the program that people can expect to see today at Funda College.
Yeah, so the program is divided into 3 components, which because we will touch on the last component of it. The first component, it will be a master class where we have 4 speakers that will be dissecting the topic that I've already alluded to. And then the second part will be a jazz poetry. Brawili, just before he parted earlier this year, he was performing at Cullinan Club with the GP Riots Jazz Ensemble. So they will be coming to relive those moments with him. But the performance will be done by young people who will be performing his poems, but adding some interpretation of young people in terms of remixing some of those poems. And the other part is we will be having a crafts market whereby we challenge young people to say, how do we take some of our living legends the same into a lifestyle brand, the same way we do with Che Guevara as now a lifestyle brand. So these are some of the products that they came up with, and there are many other crafts products that they came up with. So the last part will be the visual exhibition which Bukhosi is curating.
So Bukhosi, tell us about the artists that you've selected in this curation progress.
Okay, so the artists that are participating are from the incubation at Funda Center, and there are 8 artists, 4 of which are going to do a live performance together with the jazz band, which is a jazz impromptu style painting, in conversation with the performances on stage. And also the exhibition itself is a collection of 19 artworks by 8 artists that are trying to capture the ownership of memory. And the exhibition itself is entitled In Search of Memory, which speaks to Brawili's poems. So each artist selected one poem and drove inspiration from that poem to produce an artwork in tribute to the late Professor Giorabet.
Are any of your works in there as well?
Yes, I do have some.
Okay, tell us a bit about which poem you had and what you're unpacking and how it kind of looks.
I had a couple of poems that I was interested in, but the one that spoke to me the most is the one that says random notes to my son. You know, I think we as the young generation, we sort of like get misguided if we tend to venture out into this world on our own without any proper guidance. So for me, that poem speaks to a larger audience of the youth out there. Yeah.
And I'm sure you also interacted with him sometime last year as well. Can you tell us a bit about some of those memories and why specifically you chose to pick out that part of his poem that you love so much?
Well, when he visited us in the Living Legends program last year, what I found that he was a humble man and very soft-spoken and a lover of art. So it was my very first time to experience and to meet him and to know about him. So that made me want to know more, and throughout searching his works, I learned a lot from that.
His convos were very interesting, eh?
Very much, very much philosophical.
I know. Yeah. And for you?
No, for me, it was seeing this giant and just standing next to him and taking a picture. He was just up to my but I still believe that he was quite a giant, especially when he started talking. But I had an opportunity to interact with him when he came back from exile, when he was still part of the Congress of South African Writers. So it was more of reliving the giant that I've already known and his contribution, especially he's contributed a lot in the US more than in South Africa. So I had the opportunity of knowing more about his work. But that's what we've been doing throughout this month as part of celebrating that history of the Black History Month. To also, he was part of the artists that we featured, and then we were telling people on some of the things that they don't know about as part of #ownership of Black Memory.
Well, thank you so much for coming to Trendz. So it's happening today, right at 1 o'clock, right? That's when it starts at Funda Center.
Yes. 1 o'clock until 5 o'clock is the formal program. Then the exhibition is from 1 until 6.
It's open to all?
It's open to all. When Bukhosi said live performance, he means that an empty canvas, and then they will be drawing as the performances are happening. So they will be influenced by the poetry and the music in the background.
Well, I guess I know where I'm spending my Saturday. Get yourself some merchandise of the great legendary poet and head out to Funda Center.
Sure.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Very few young black men can pat themselves on the back and proclaim that they have created their own brand of sneakers. Yet, that is the accolade that Theo Baloyi has. The 27-year-old has created a proudly South African sneakers brand called Batu. Our producer, Njabulo, went to meet this young man and found out what inspired him to create his own proudly South African sneaker line. Take a look.
There are many brands of sneakers with different designs to choose from. But if you want to stand out by wearing a truly South African sneaker brand that's described as a happy shoe, then Batu sneakers are definitely your best bet. Designed by Theo Baloyi, these sneakers are meant to offer sneaker lovers with the choice of choosing a comfortable shoe suitable for our climate. We caught up with Baloyi at one of the stores that supplies Batu.
I'm a sneaker fan, you know, I'm a sneaker head. So it happened that I was traveling to Dubai, and basically all the time when I went to Dubai, I came back to South Africa and I came back with like nice sneakers, you know, and a lot of my friends were like, you know, these are nice sneakers, where do you get it from? And I realized that there's actually a gap for an African shoe brand, you know, that Africans can proudly affiliate with, you know. And growing up in the townships, the word Batu always means, you know, shoe, you know, so it always referred to any type of a shoe as Ibatu, you know. So I just wanted to conceptualize that, trademark it, you know, and just create an African shoe brand. So based on the love for sneakers, and whenever I came back home to South Africa, I realized there's a need for an African sneaker brand. So basically what happens is that, you know, with my thought process and the concept of Batu, I just did not only want to tell a story, but I wanted to be innovative, you know, I wanted to come up with different designs. I started this concept, this is our first range, there's going to be a lot of sneakers that are going to be launched. The reason and the inspiration behind this range was there was a trend of colorful socks that was going on at the time, and they were normally known as Happy Socks. Even though Happy Socks is a brand, they were known as that, you know, and it was a trend going on. And it's like, how about we create a happy shoe, you know what I'm saying, that is unique. You know, if this sneaker, if you look at the sneakers made out of the mesh material, we say it's the only sneaker that breathes, you know, it's because it blows air into your feet. You know, we've got colors injected in the sole as well to show the happiness, you know, that it's basically a spring shoe, a summer shoe, you know, it's a happy season, you know what I'm saying. So we created specifically for that.
Theo, I see you've got different colors for different sneakers.
Yes.
Just take us through the coloring. I see, like, actually some beautiful colors. Actually, this one is one of my favorite. I think this is gray, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so take us through how to depict the colors for the sneakers.
Yeah, so basically Batu comes in 6 colorways now. You know, we've got white, gray, navy blue, light blue, and pink. You know, the colors that we chose for now were colors that are common in spring or in summer. You know, so if you look at the gray color, it's complementary to any type of outfit. If you look at navy blue, you know, it also complements any type of outfit, especially the white one as well. You know, so we looked at the colors that are complementary or compatible to, you know, to any type of outfit. So you don't have to think too much when you're choosing your outfit. You know what I'm saying? You can wear it with literally anything.
This sneaker can be dressed up or down. With different colors to choose from, it is made for both males and females. And the cherry on top is that it does not cost an arm and a leg.
Well, I definitely want to grab a pair of those sneakers. Mzansi music lovers are in for a treat. Two long-standing music brands are celebrating their 4 decades in the music industry. The forefather of Kwai Jazz, Don Laga, and Mbaqanga group Soul Brothers announced their national tour celebration earlier this week with a mini concert at Yamaha Music in Johannesburg. Take a look. That's the sound of two distinctive South African music genres coming together on stage for the first time. This collaboration is in celebration of the 45th anniversary of music legends Don Laga and Soul Brothers in the music industry.
We've been talking about it for so many years, and it started years ago, I think, when Moss was doing his first album, M1. And I wanted to work with him because I was, as an organist. And for me, he reflected more of a Jimmy Smith, but with a different touch. So I wanted to work with him, and I approached him, and we were signed in the same label, by the way. That's about 30 years ago. 30 years ago, yes. And, we've always been talking about it, but we've never had a chance to do it. Last year, when I was turning 45 in the music industry, and I knew he was also. So I then went and approached him. I said, Moss, we have to do something, and now. And he just said, oh, yeah, we have to.
The birthing of new sounds is what the acclaimed jazz legend Don Laga is well known for. The Kwai Jazz Maestro's latest studio album, Reflections, pays homage to his 4 decades of influence and hit-making in the music landscape. The project features the likes of Mafiki Zolo, Tebe, DJ Maphorisa, Dr. Malinga and MT. This collaboration tour with the Mbaqanga group is certainly one for the books.
I'm glad that this collaboration now has born, a new type of sound that South Africa will be enjoying. Mbaqanga plus Kwai Jazz, and we hope to be bringing the different audiences. I think you've seen, that little piece that we gave you. That is going to be a very special tour.
Yeah, we're very happy because Soul Brothers music came a long way from, as Don said, 40 years ago, So to revive the songs, the old songs with the new young musicians, I think is a good thing for us, for Soul Brothers music as well.
Part of this nationwide festivities planned around the live concerts are empowerment sessions for young musicians.
We're very much happy, what arts and culture is doing, because our music is old music, and we need to share it with younger musicians as well. They give us a good platform for us to go and perform everywhere and support us.
Yes, and added to that, we will be doing workshops. By the way, every show that we'll have workshops.
The tour kicks off on the 7th of April at the Soweto Theatre.
Hi, I'm Black Moses Ngwenya.
Hi, I'm Don Laga. You're watching Trendz.
You don't go anywhere, we're taking a break just now.
Welcome back to Trendz. Breakfast is out and brunch is in. This midday meal also made the list for being one of the coolest times to grab a bite, which explains why Chill Light launched the Light Brunch Collective campaign that explores this new trend. A Good Tuesday goes along the lines of the one Nadia and I had this week. Our wellness series is just in line with one of the coolest global trends, fitness, that is. Let's take a look. Breakfast might be the most important meal of the day, but ditching it for a mid-morning meal with your mates is way cooler. The Chill Light is launching a brunch collective campaign that will highlight this new hangout trend.
It's basically like a safe space for people who like brunching, but don't always want to do it pretty much in the same places. So we're going to be moving around the country. We started in Joburg today. We're going to be in Cape Town and Durban pretty soon. The whole concept comes from like global trends. So people in New York brunch, in Dubai, like it's an actual thing. And we're just trying to pretty much get the country up to speed, I guess.
This campaign is exploring fun midday hangouts, and since fit is the new fun and brunch is the new thing, then why not do both on a Tuesday?
Well, you know what? I've always looked for things that are so different to the norm, right? And I love fitness, but I also love to hang out with my girls and have long, laid out brunches and lunches. And so this is a really great way to fuse both worlds. I think it's exciting. I think sometimes we like to live in the mall or, you know, in the confines of the things that we've always done. So it's nice to have a little bit of Havana in Johannesburg.
They just know a way to just make things that seem kind of boring and quite hard to do really exciting and really trendy. So I really feel that this was an amazing event. I really enjoyed myself. There was dancing, there was yoga, there was music, there was a vibe. So it was really, really interesting. I loved it.
Today's activities were crowned by spinning karaoke. The best of both worlds. Do you know how much fun karaoke is? Do you know how scary spinning is? But then afterwards you feel so great. Imagine putting them in the same WhatsApp group. It works.
It's amazing. We just finished our yoga session with Jasmine, and it's actually cool because we did beer yoga, something that has never been done before. I mean, we still want to leave whilst we're trying to keep healthy and fit, so it's really cool to have a drink that's less in calories that you can drink while working out. It's really refreshing.
That 10 minutes is just like a basic something to get your heart rate going and also to get you excited. Sometimes when I plan my yoga classes, I try to plan a mood around it. So today it was just about feeling happy, getting your energies up, especially in line with the whole the brunch collective, you know. It's very happy mood, you know, it's got that Cuban vibe. So I just wanted to bring that in.
There's always that one fitness activity that even your busy schedule can't take you away from, not even for the who's who of Mzansi.
I like to stay fit with my little boy. He's very, very active. Any mom out there will tell you that it takes a lot to run after them. And then just very basic weight work. So even if it's resistance, just with your own body, doing push-ups, sit-ups, squats, that kind of thing really, really works.
With me, my typical routine is I like doing everything. I'm not the person, I don't like doing the same thing all the time. I do eat fairly healthy because I want it to be sustainable and long life. So I would run, I would do strength. I mean, a lot of times women don't do weights because they think you're going to look like a man. But the trick is, it's me trying to get to that level where I educate people on the importance and the benefits of actually doing both.
I'm a runner. I absolutely love to jog because obviously I don't always have the time to be going into gyms and stuff, but one thing that I can guarantee is that a good jog will keep me good for the day.
Hello, this is your Madam Speaker. I'm Babi Molloy, and this is Trending SA. Hey, it's not. It's Trendz. Trendz on SABC.
Well, yes, that was the Light Brunch Collective. That was absolutely amazing. We can't wait to go to the other ones. The Container Yard in downtown Johannesburg will host a 2-day music and lifestyle festival to celebrate the arrival of the 2018 Polo Vivo. The multi-layered festival of experiences will bring people together to explore the best in South African music, street art, fashion, food, and new connections. Joining me in studio to talk more about the event is songstress Lady Zamar, who'll also be performing at the event. Welcome to Trendz.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks, and yourself?
We are great. Tell us a bit about the Vivo Festival. I mean, what should we expect on that day?
Well, basically the Vivo Festival, it's like one of those things where South African artists I've never really been part of something so spectacular, something that sophisticated, something that has got so many activations, something that really focuses on the art and the artisticness of the artists themselves. It's a 2-day festival, so they have invited some of us. I'm on the lineup. I was really excited. I wasn't so sure, like, oh my gosh, you know. They're launching the new Vivo, and that's something that's very, very, very nice, especially for the audiences that are going to be there. I mean, Vivo cars are really like cute and stuff like that. So being part of a launch of a car in that kind of, those kind of stages and that kind of, I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's like a big event, okay? It's like a huge event. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna be performing most of my my fan favorite song. And that's going to be a lot of fun because it's not going to be like your usual, or you get to a place and you got to be rushed off the stage quickly. Every single artist, they will be given their time to really interact and to really get to know their fans, and for their fans to really get to listen to them and bask in those moments.
So this campaign has like 8 game changers. I mean, they've been doing events showing each individual artist their car or, well, game changer. For you, which one would you say is your favorite car from all the artists in it?
I don't really have a favorite.
You have to pick one.
I can't, and it's not fair.
Oh, honey. Okay.
I like everything.
Well, why are you shocked also that you are on the lineup? Because I feel like since 2017, since Mamelodi, you have literally been on every lineup.
Apparently, I've been on every lineup. There are some lineups I still want to be on.
Yeah, like?
There's a lot.
Like?
I think let's talk about viewers now, right? Because let's talk about the Vivo one. And this is something I wanted to be part of. And when my manager said that I would be part of it, I was excited.
Okay, so tell us about your new single that's out, Collide. It's doing great right now. Tell us about that.
Well, Collide was it was one of the fan favorites when the album King Zama dropped last year. And we were not so sure about it because I was like, the song is so different. It's really long. It's like 6.5 minutes on the original DJ version, and then it's like 5.55 minutes as a radio edit.
Wow.
Because it's so dynamic, it's got so many different elements. And putting it out was a risk, you know, for us and for the team, because we're like, what if it doesn't do well? What if people are like, oh, this is a bit too different from Love is Blind and My Baby? But after putting it out, the reception has been phenomenal. I have never seen any song that I've been on do that well, that quickly. It's #1 on Sound City. It's like #2 on some stations. It's #3 on some. So it's really doing well on Radio Monitor. It hit #4 of the most played tracks in the country. So I am really excited about it, and I know that a lot of people are waiting for me to perform that song everywhere I go.
So definitely that's one of the songs that you will be performing at the Vivo Nation concert, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was Lady Zama speaking to us about the Vivo Nation concert that's happening next weekend, yes, Saturday and Sunday. So go check it out, the Vivo Nation Festival, yes. That's all we have for you on today's show. I mean, can you imagine 60 minutes so fast?
I know, right?
From me and the Trendz team, goodbye.